Now, that we are here now. This one is going to be light, man. Okay, barking, okay, DZ, basically, right? Now, when we're looking at this situation, what do you think is the most likely scenario to occur? Let's talk now. What is the most likely scenario to occur? What is the most likely scenario to occur when you are looking at this, right? Guys, can you please give me a moment? I'll be back. Sorry about this. Okay, now, where are the answers? I did leave here. I asked a question before I asked a question, asking a question. That question still remains because the answers are not here. Question still remains. The answers are not here. Okay, to tip the equilibrium to tip the scale of an equilibrium for previous bull run. Before having the last leg, which would result in a rally in completion of a last macro leg. Okay. Tshimologo, Mr. Pitse. You say to tip a tip of the scale of equilibrium for the previous bull move, right? Move before having the last leg, which would result in a rally above in completion, the last macro leg. We are currently in a consolidation phase, second leg, which gives us a problem reaction phase in favor of bulls, which will confluence with our last macro leg. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Technically, yes. Yes. I do agree. Right. Yes. We're currently trading in a problem phase. We will expect a reaction phase and a solution phase. Okay. Yeah. No. Hayi, makwetana uzaba ukuma man. Ndizona. Yes. You know, that is yes, I do agree with you. Right? I do agree with you fully. 110%. For those who do not know how to twang, I just said 110%. You know, sometimes must accommodate young men so that they know that we are one of them. For those that are above 30, I urge you, teach the young so that they may teach you. I know when you start having difficulties with your laptop, hey, mentor, I don't know, the Zooms are not showing. You know, you reach that age where technology has advanced to such an extent where now you are paralyzed. You need assistance to disable ad block. And I always assist. I'm not saying you're old, but I am showing you that do not laugh at your parents when they ask you to load airtime, because I do not laugh at you when you ask me to assist you in removing an ad block. We even have to schedule a Zoom. How amazing. Okay, now, this is what Sean has spoken about, right? And he actually spoke about that part. And he spoke on a macro scale. So the last statement Sean made, it reflects to this. This is on a macro scale. His initial statement, it was a reflection of a micro scale. Remember that even though we are on a monthly time frame, us referring to this reduction in price and a further increase in price, technically, this move, it's a micro move, even though it's on a monthly time frame, because there is a larger one at play. A larger one at play, it is the macro, meaning that the one that consists of 1, 2, and the push to the upside, this entirety, the one that consists of a micro scale, it's only, or it's a mere last leg. Or again, though that can be, again, this itself, it can be, because again, we're still within a consolidative state. Now, are we okay? Are we following? Are you guys refreshed? I recommend Majeu. If you have Majeu, I always keep it in my office. Always. Uh, it's called Mareu. Always keep it near you. The same way that you have lovers in your wallet for those that still living in sin, but I know you don't. It's the same thing that you need to have. You need to have Majeu in your office where you work. There must just be something idling there. There must be in your fridge. It must be there. So the same way, same mentality. You must always have safety. The reason why I say this is because how I eat throughout the day. I don't have solid meals the whole day. From morning when I wake up, I eat pap and inkomasi or pap and maybe milk, katubela, right? I full lekaku, if those that don't know. So for those that don't know what lekaku is, or lekaku is, it's just that ball. You know how many people make a ball, that thing, yes, the way they dish. So I will have that in the morning, right? And start working. I will have again during the course of the day, but I supplement with Majeu in the process, right? The aim is to never be full. I don't eat to be full, or I don't eat for nourishment. I eat to silence the stomach while I work because it can interfere. As long as the stomach is quiet, we are working. 9 o'clock after prayer, everything. 10, I eat. Most of the time, I even eat at like 1 a.m. That's when I'll have like your meats and yes. But again, I do take like the what do you call these things? The like the organic, like there's these other things that give me nutrients basically. So I take those things just to balance the nutrients that are required, obviously. So I take that. So they are natural. You can either buy them and capsulate yourself, or you can just basically buy them capsulated. So they provide all the things that are required, right? Yes, here and there I will have bread, but even when I have bread, it's 2 slices. You don't eat like you are a construction worker. You don't do that. You don't eat like, no, the aim is to keep the stomach quiet while working. Because when you are too full, you can't focus. When you're hungry, you can't focus. So you need to be at equilibrium, neither full nor empty. As Paul has said it, I have learned to abase. You remember Paul? Yes. To live in full and in want. You must be that, because that's one of the things that are very, if you're going to eat something heavy, eat it far away from home, so that by the time you get home, the stomach is already at equilibrium. It is stabilized. That after eating, there's a sense of fatigue. It's gone. Those things, they're gone. And another part, I know that we have young people right now. Actually, I'm just giving you things that another part. When you are working, please refrain from listening to music that has too many words. Me and my boys, we were chilling. No. If it's words, they must be repeating. It must be repeating words. You understand? Not, no piano, no hip hop, no love music, no. The words must be simple that your child can sing them, those type of words, because you do not need too many things that are stimulating your brain up like over. And you don't listen to the mix. No. So yes, and even the music that you listen to, it must not make you crave things. Don't crave, hey, Van Dyke. No, the music must not make. If though you listen to music, it makes you crave something. Stop listening to that while you work. So that's basically it. And each and everything that you do, like each and every part, when it comes to music, it has an attachment. There are memories that are attached to that, especially when working. So for me, most of the time, I listen to deep house. I listen to if I don't feel like if I listen to praise and worship, that one is when like I am just chilling while working, but not intensively. So now that we put that aside, so always this thing of trying to finish grocery in one day doesn't work while you're trying to work. Go to eat as if like you are saving. I think that is best. So there's a sense of clarity when your stomach is not full. When it's too full. Now, this is the part where Sean spoke about. So Sean spoke about, not Sean man. Why do I always call Sean man? Hey, this guy. Uh, Simolo, this is what he said. So Simolo said that his initial statement is this. His uh, like the ending statement, it reflects a macro scale. So on a micro scale, we're looking for potential reduction in price, right? So when he mentioned that we need to tip the equilibrium scale, what he was referring to this current push to the upside, meaning within this rally. Now, because we are trading within this, whereby the supply exceeds the demand, he is currently referring to the reduction in price in order to tip the equilibrium scale at 50%. Are we okay with that? So the tip in the equilibrium scale in 50%, obviously, he says that we will be looking for a push to the upside, completing both the micro and the macro. There, I just added a bit, but that's what he basically said. So that is that. And then again, he spoke about a reaction phase in favor of the bulls. So now, if that is a reaction phase in favor of the bulls, meaning that this entire consolidation, not only does he look at it as a potential second leg, but also views it as a potential problem that can result in a reaction. So now the question is that the reactions phase, which he speaks about, when he says in favor of the bulls, that means that the reaction phase should be bearish because that's the only way it can add favor to bulls. Because once you have a reaction, a problem, a reaction, and the pushed up, that means that this reactionary state, it's a added advantage to the bulls. So is that what you have said, Mr. Pite? Or am I just adding too much credit? But I know that, guys. So now as well, he did mention that we're currently trading within a problem phase. We will be expecting a reaction phase and a solution phase. But no, when you mention a reaction phase and a solution phase, remember that like, again, in favor of, that's what Simulo said. He says in favor of. So now there must be, because now when you say a reaction phase, I can also look at this current consolidative state and say that looking for a reaction phase, but this reaction phase, in which direction will it be? You understand? Because like if I'm looking at this, yes, we did have a push to the upside. This itself, it did complete even on a micro scale. The similarly as we are currently looking at this entire push to the upside in this consolidative state, that at this particular point in time, we can say that this entirety of this push to the upside, right, in attempts to complete the micro leg itself, it's actually something of this nature. So though there is a micro leg, but in actuality, it's just a macro. You must listen. Macro, micro. So when I say micro, just keep that, like you need to pay attention so that you don't, like, so that the voice, you can hear my voice properly when I talk about micro and macro, right? So this is what will okay. But again, now with now what you're saying is that here we're currently trading within a consolidation. Yes, this can be a problem, but in whose favor as well? You must also specify, right? Because the same way that we have had this push to the upside. Look, oh, sorry. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Okay, now do you see this part, right? We already had the macro leg, one, two. We're currently within this. So another part within this push to the upside, meaning within this micro leg, if I were to look at this leg, the push to the upside, the first leg, basically, if I would say so, I can also look and see one, two, and three. Then if, let's say, for example, now you didn't clarify whether this is going to be in favor of buyers or sellers. Therefore, this current consolidation itself, I can view it as a reaction, as a problem looking for a reaction before a solution. You get what I'm saying? No, did you just comment and leave? Decorum is huager. No, king, so what start a peg. Okay, now let's get into this, right? This is the current situation. So now it can go both ways, right? But again, we're currently trading within this consolidative state. How many months has it been since we were within this consolidation? I think we can clearly say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. So 9 months, maybe we might give birth. But it's been quite some time, right? Remember that each and everything, when looked, for example, now, did I record? Oh, okay, we on. So now when we're looking at this situation, this consolidative state, yes, you might see it as a consolidation, right? But remember what we've spoken about. Bitcoin has yet to experience the extensity and intensity of a consolidation. It has never faced that. It has never been put through the test of consolidation. It does not, it has never reached a state of maturity where you spend so much time in a consolidation state that people or even the participants that are engaging in that, hey, they have mental breakdown. It has never actually put people through that type of pressure, right? The only pressure that it gave them was just reducing in price. Because as an asset itself, it's not yet, how can I put it? Bitcoin itself, it's still an infant in the financial industry, right? In the world of finance, it's still an infant. Gold, older than Adam, right? Oil, being there. Silver, being there. Currencies, being there as well. So it has never actually, in terms of exchange, in terms of it being something that can be used as a mode of exchange, still an infant, right? So it has yet to experience what gold experienced. It has yet to experience what silver experienced. Currencies as well. It has yet to experience that. So it's still brand new. Now, with that being said, meaning that being in a consolidation, we won't see it being there for quite some time. So the probability of us seeing it breaking either above or below now is still there. And it's something that it's not that far away, right? So now in this process, the current consolidative state itself, You have to look at the current condition, globally, and you know, and especially this year. Right. We okay with that? We okay with that? And another thing about Bitcoin is that it's a matter of, how can I put it? It's not independent. Question, why am I saying that? I know you can't read my mind, but just rough estimation, why am I saying that gold is not gold, Bitcoin is not independent? The movement within the markets, that's a hint. I'm giving you a hint. The Bitcoin's movement within, like, or this, its movement, price, prices, it's pricing. Why? Guys, focusang, buang, bushamanano, back to reality. Its movement are influenced by how people behave. Yes, Umpil. Bitcoin, it's a reflection of hype. It only performs when spoken about. Eh? It only, when spoken about, it's like this guy, celebrities. When there is something being spoken about them, that's when, oh, Ghana is, or maybe when they die, oh, Ghana is alive. That's the same thing with Bitcoin. Its awareness, it comes from it being spoken about more. That's when you start seeing a trend. That's its issue. It's not independent from hype. Gold, it's independent from hype. Gold, and silver, it's independent from hype. It's movement. But again, Leona, the pricing of gold and silver, it's a factor of fear, or it's a byproduct of fear. But not only fear, but safety. You understand? You understand what I mean? So gold is tshwana. If you look at gold is tshwana a permanent job. It's a it's something that provides safety. It's something that provides safety. And once again, let's let's continue. Okay. If Ketuktula are if factors like Beck or BlackRock don't publish any state, will that also contribute to the reduction? Right now, as long as they have yet to terminate their ETFs, what they have produced, there's still optimism in terms of whether it can increase in value, right? It's still optimism. They played a key role. Remember, uh, prices themselves, like an increase in the value of an asset, it occurs rapidly as compared to the reduction of it, right? Unless if it's a rug pull. But when we're talking about assets that people are actually engaging within them, we're not talking about Bitcoin here. We're talking about things that in serious people, not games, serious people, when they look at them, they say, okay, maybe I can actually hedge against risk using that. Bitcoin, where is it? It ended on SABC. That's it. Those are not things that can be used to hedge against risk. They can be used for rug pulling. Yes, good. Shiba Inu, whatever. Those things can be used for rug pulling. But you cannot rug pull with something like this, an asset that so many professional investors are fully invested with. The only way to give a bit of, how can I say it? That's again totality, what we spoke about. There must be a sense of compromise, because it's not just only BlackRock that is a player there. There are others that are players there that have money heavily invested. not Michael Saw. Michael Saw earlier, and he invested, but some of the things are just toxic, you know. But he will be okay if he's not if he's still alive, then hopefully, right? So this is one thing that we're going to see. So now, to rug pull this, a lot of people will be very hurt financially. A lot of companies will file for bankruptcy. So I think we should look at it the way we discussed in the first Zoom. I think we should look at absorption. I think it's something that we should it should be something that is in the realm of possibilities, right? Absorption. Scarcity itself, we have seen that the amount of coins mined during this time, they were far less compared to the quantity that was demanded. Never stopped the price from continuing. It's a figment of, yes, it's a figment of people's imagination. The pricing of this asset itself does not even make sense to the people that are pricing it. But again, game, right? So at this particular point in time, one can also consider the probability of price pushing to the upside. But now, at this particular price level, if price does increase without any reduction in value, that itself will just act as merely a reactionary state, right? Then again, we can actually see price being corrected again. But the correction of price now, the question that will be more important is that once we get this reactionary state, the correction of this asset, how far will the correction be? Remember again, guiding prices to their natural, guiding asset pricing to their natural, like assets to their natural pricing, right? That means that next time we see a retracement, we should expect Bitcoin to be immersed within a consolidative state until it matures and develops correct. You get me? Do you get what I am saying? I'm saying that if this entire situation becomes a reactionary state, right? What we should expect is that we should expect a drop in price. This drop in price itself, it will result in this being in a specific consolidation for a specific amount of time. So that's something that we should consider. So now with this one, at this particular price, now we're going to just look at it roughly, right? We can actually end up seeing that being a probability, a push to the upside, liquidating this entire consolidative state before we have a reduction in price. These ones are easy to digest, ne? It's just basic stuff, ne? Unlike the first Zoom where maybe you felt like maybe I was playing mind games. This one is just straightforward, more artistic, more simpler, more, you know, it's nice. It's nice. Okay, so with that, the reduction in price will simply be somewhere around this region, isn't it? So look at this entire region here, this region here, actually, basically like this entire region here. And again, when you're looking at the entire region itself, this itself, it's irrelevant to the grand scheme of things. So, okay, let's look at this, guys. This itself, it's a demand area, right? And we do have a clear understanding that once the market breaks below the 50%, there's a shift of power, right? So you're getting into a territory whereby the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied, right? And if that is the case, therefore, an increase in the value of an asset, it's a reflection of the exit of suppliers. The exit of suppliers creates scarcity. Scarcity increases prices because there are few people that are able to meet consumers' demands. So if consumers are unable to get that, now price itself gets into a territory whereby like an asset goes through price competition. There's a competition over it. So when consumers are competing over an asset that it's not easily accessible, then we have an increase in price. These things are basics, and I know you know them. The scarcity or mining of Bitcoin has nothing to do with nature. Oh, can I use? You said this. Oh, I don't speak in parables, guys. Yo, I don't speak in parables. I just try my best to. The thing is that, like, I do not want to dilute. I don't even want to rob myself because as I'm doing this, I am also teaching myself, by the way. I think you, like, that's the thing. I do not know what I know. And I don't know to what extent I know what I know until we have a Zoom. Then that's when I will be aware. And these Zooms, nowadays, I watch them. Hey, no more playing games. Jesus. No, no, when I'm listening there, then I'm laughing. Them like, hey, this guy is crazy. It's not me. Right now, it's not me that you know on Telegram. This is Lina. I don't even know myself here. Eh, I'm transfigured. You see, these are the jokes I'm trying to avoid. Uh, I don't, you see, I don't, I'm trying myself. I've been telling you guys I need to stop making these jokes, but I keep making them. You see, this is not me. So, okay. Again, Romans 6 apply. I do not know why I do the things I do, but yet I do the things I do. But the things I want to do, I do not do. There's a law at work here. Uh, Go read Romans 6. Today, maybe you might find it more intriguing, especially with this weather. So you may understand. Okay, now this is something in the realms of probabilities, right? As we have seen right now, the reduction in price, yes, consolidation, yes. But the reduction in price, they have been somehow creating lows. The lows are being liquidated, but yet the highs remain intact. Now, the question would arise, and it's very important for a young man of Byron's caliber to ask a question in terms of now. This is why philosophy is one thing that it's important, right? Because philosophy, it's not just one thing. Like it's Corey, it's a study that deals more with the brain, the mind, thinking. Because if one does not think, guys, if one does not think, you will end up saying like Nasdaq is also known as US 30. And it's not because of like, it's because in those some of the things are there's a narrow gap. So you must be very vigilant, especially when it comes to how information enters your, okay, frontal lobe. But yeah, I must be very vigilant of that. Unfortunately, like when it comes to trading, I cannot water it down. This is the best I could do. You see, like, when you go to the store and you are there, hey, my friend, he reduces the price and he says, my friend, if you hear that, my friend, I know, you know that like already, if he goes lower, he's losing money. He's already selling you at the price that he has bought it. He's just offloading it. So yeah, I can't go too low. Okay. Right. Now, this is the situation which we'll be looking at. So this is something that can occur. So now let's remove this one for the time being, and we will focus more on the 44, 42K, 44. Yeah, I think it's 442. Sorry, 42. So now we're going to look at that part, a reduction in price into this level. This reduction in price into this level itself, it's something that's going to present a key, I can say like maybe it will present a key, like, how can I put it? The reduction in price into this level, this move itself, it will be of significance, right? The reason why it will be of significance, and the significance of it should be more looked at in terms of the volatility, right? The speed in which the market moves from this area here, pushing price to the downside around 44, 42, that itself, it should be to an extent that it invokes fear for those that are fully invested, similar to the heading of the previous Zoom that we had. It had its intention to invoke something within those that are invested. Right now, a reduction in price of this area here. First, if you are not invested, if your portfolio does not consist of a certain percentage of Bitcoin, that to you does not matter. That you can fear something that you don't understand, isn't it? But if the price is reducing, now those that are fully invested, their reaction will bring forth something that is very important. Remember that the push to the upside itself, it had things that were added onto it, including your ETFs. This is what we will be looking at. The reduction of this into this region here. Each and every swing low that is being liquidated, if we can see something similar to this, actually, something similar to this in terms of speed, that itself can lead to a more smoother transition back into the rally, right? But in terms of we're still trending on a micro scale. Based on this current consolidation, we're still trending within a bearish movement up until a recently formed swing high. Significant swing high has been liquidated, isn't it? So if we're going to look at that part, then this would be our significant swing high that needs to be liquidated before the reduction in price. In that process, we will then consider this entire price range as merely a consolidation that will lead to a reduction in price. And again, one can also consider that based on where it is lying or based on where it is located, one can also consider that as a problem that can lead to a reactionary state. Now, this brings back Mr. Beitze and Tsimolo based on that. Overall scale, is it a problem? Yes. But in favor of who? That is the question. That was easy, right? That was easy, right? It cannot get easier than this. So it's basically that. That is the simplicity of everything. But again, when we get into each and every price level, you see, each and every price level will show you the completion of a micro cycle. But whatever you do, in the back of your mind, you must keep the macro of each time frame. Keep the macro, which is the higher time frame, and keep their micros within your head. Don't have to draw them. If you can drink and drive and get back home, which is unsafe, surely you can remember where each and every chart you have analyzed is located. I'm saying, you don't have to remember your wife's birthday, but trust me, you have to remember where each is located. If you see yourself not being sure whether the market has came to that price, know that you're not spending enough time with your chart. Because if you're spending enough time with, or you are aware of which phase, which level, which price level, the only thing that can maybe serve as a surprise is maybe like say maybe someone came to visit you and you didn't even know that Powell was speaking. On a micro scale, yes, that volatility should surprise you. But on a macro scale, it's a spec. That is the amount of dent we make when it comes to the global financial market and the amount of information we have pertaining to this field. a spec. We have yet to make a dent. So this thing of we in profit, must ask yourself. Okay, so now I think we got the basic gist of it, right? That this is the thing that serves more as a area of importance, meaning that at this particular point in time, we're not looking for this area to be liquidated. Are we okay with that? So meaning that at this particular point in time, we will be looking for a further reduction in price in order to stimulate. To stimulate, there must be a sense of stimulation in terms of, if you want to enter, you must stimulate. When it comes to the market, that's where I'm going with this chain of thoughts, that to be able to place your order, there must be a sense of stimulation. There must be people that are stimulated to participate. And how do you do that? You do that by introducing an element that is, that is lovely to them. And even in this scenario here, in a consolidative state, if provided that the market does give a bit of a spike to the upside, the question should be, what is the main objective of a push to the upside? As long as this is still intact, right? Mind you, again, this is on a micro scale, but as long as this is still intact, any push to the upside is just merely stimulation that will result in a further reduction in price. And the reduction in price itself, it also does, but okay, so that's basically what we can actually look for when it comes to Bitcoin. This is something that is in the realm of probabilities, isn't it? But on a higher time frame, the swing low that poses more significant, it will probably be something around this area on a weekly time frame. Yeah, this part here does pose more importance. Yes, this one does carry a certain amount. If we're going to look at it based on the dot theory and we actually neglect the entirety of this reduction in price, and you obviously view this as a consolidation, this itself cannot be regarded as a swing low. The only thing that can be regarded as a swing is the swing high of this entire consolidative state. This is the one that consists of a bit more significance. If it is liquidated, then it will result in a further continuation of a drop, so of a rally. Now, with this, the reduction in price itself is just merely a reduction. The question is that, will this swing low carry weight? Because the significance of a swing low, and it's important, does determine whether dot theory applies or not. Now, on a daily time frame, right? On a daily time frame, right? Are we okay? It does seem like it will provide at least a bit of significance, even though the market might spike below. The question is that, do we end above that swing low if we're going to look at it from a line graph? Because line graph only shows us closing prices, isn't it? Eh? Don't sleep. Do not. Do not at all fall asleep. Hey. Yeah, I'm off a weekend. Yeah, weekend, I want to be serious. Hey, mentor, it's weekend. What you complaining about? Yeah, mentor, weekend, I'm going to, hey, we on weekend already. It's like, yeah, no understand. It's weekend again. So we're trying to use that time more effectively. Because tomorrow when you go to church, when you come back, 7 colors full in the stomach, next thing you know, you're sleeping. Wake up, it's Monday. I have to work overtime. Weekend, what were you doing? And we're not done. After this one, we have another one. After this one, 9 o'clock prayer. Yeah, today you must suffer the pain of discipline. Okay, sharp. So did you see it based on the line graph? That indeed we did close below the swing low. Did you see that? Did you see that? So you must look at it from the 2 point, right? Because indeed, if we're looking at it from the closing prices, yes, we liquidated the swing low. So technically speaking, we still abide by the Dow theory, right? Still in play, isn't it? Though it's not significant. But again, now if we're looking at it in terms of the candlesticks and we merely focus on the lowest price, therefore, this itself can reflect a transition because the market failed to break below the recently formed swing low, right? So now the realm of possibilities, one can look at it from this area and this area. You understand? So meaning that your application of the Dow theorem, it will be more of a factor of which gets liquidated. Are we okay? If you're looking at it based on low price, the low or the high price or the low price. You get it? I think this is easy. This is things. I'm just reminding you of certain things. This is it. But now the question is that this, how significant is it when compared to this one? So that means sort of like this one itself, it will be more observed as a minor, and this one will be more of like, yeah, chances are increasing. So the break above this recently formed swing high, right? Let me accommodate a lower high, right? Okay. The anthem is starting. I can feel it. Yes. Lower, low. Higher, low, right? Is it it? Or higher? Yeah, then dribble. But this one, I think it's a lower high. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, I'm proud of myself. I still remember these things. But you see it, eh? This is it. You can develop a rhythm, higher high, lower high. You can teach your child. It's more it's like barking in this thing. It's like barking in this thing, man. You know it though. Sharp. So that's basically it. So should we move to another one? Mobile, yes, it does. We discussed this, my brado. Depending on how long you've been in the team. But if you have been before the structural redesign, the implementation of more intrinsic things that will add more value within the structural integrity of the margin facility. Yeah. Okay, can we move forward? Sure, we get the gist of it, right? I don't need to explain certain things. Now, let's go to things that you love. Parking in this thing. Uh, disclaimer. Again, disclaimer. Everything applies to everything. So that's my disclaimer to you. Everything that we spoke about, it applies to everything. So do not look at the asset. Well, that's your problem. If you look at the naming of the asset, my brother, then you're going to miss it. Right now, we are here doing, when they say skyscraper, you don't ask, eh, is it UPSA? Is it, no. See, Sean, when you say come with your friends, mean that any, you know, but it's implied that the friends will be, that's the same principle. What we said, it applies to everything, but there must be caution behind application, obviously. You can't just apply blindly. Let's go to major indices. Okay, which one do you want to start with? These things. Which one do you want to start with? Drink water, relax. We still have a long way to go, man. Hey. You can light a cigarette if they allow you to smoke indoors. But if you're smoking at this, la casa, picture being at the snow. Let me not speak ill, guys. Just because I kick this habit does not mean I'm better. That thing will choke you, man. You will walk from here. If you're staying at Touchfield, someone says, I've got a cigarette, and this person stays Arcadia. You can walk. I think can walk. If you don't have money, get there is sharp. US 500. This one, I think I need this one. Okay. With these things, right? Do you want us to do it now? I bet the brain has been working. But remember, if Elama dies, if the brain learning gotta get clutch plate. Sometimes it can make that sound because we have been using it, guys, and we discuss things that way. Those topics are not okay. Let's start with what? US 500 or Nasdaq, also known as US 30. Which one? Let's do this. Guys, wake up, man. Anamo re ta ya na ye. Mara. Sean ori re te ya na ye. Okay. Let's go here maybe and see what we will do with this. Okay, let's go on a monthly time frame. But when we go on a monthly time frame, this one is self-explanatory. I didn't go Nasdaq, guys, also known as US date. Okay. This is a joke, by the way. Do not snip me here, and then next thing you know. Okay. Here we are. Now, very simple. What do you think will occur? Now, tell me. And please do not tell me based on the things that I've sent within the team because that is just disrespectful. I want you to tell me based on what you think, not what is being planted, but your own thought process. And this part, I expect it even more from women because they do tell us that I am my own person. Like I'm not defined by, this is the time I want you also to express that to me, that you are your own individual. You're not going to let me control you or tell you what to think. Now tell me what you are thinking. I will appreciate that as well. Now, there we are. What? Mana, you must have stamina, guys. And I'm not playing games here. Stamina. And you need to practice having mental stamina. I'm not talking about body wise. I'm talking about mental stamina. You need to be, and not just that, but being fully aware of what is occurring and being able to listen for a longer period of time. Do not let the world tell you that only humans can only pay attention for only 30 minutes. They are limiting you to the that time frame. Now they're saying it's only 1 minute because they are limiting you to reels and all these things. Again, TikTok or YouTube shorts. They're limiting attention span because they've already convinced you that you can only concentrate for a certain period of time. And you actually believe it. Here I am concentrating, we are working. And after this one, I still have to do other. Let's work. You will reward yourself with FIFA or I don't know. Now I've asked a question. What do you think? Tembani, please. Sean, Ivan Lerner, he's here. Ovile is there. Or did I trick you when I said use your own words? Paraphrase then. Let's continue. Let's continue. Paraphrase, let's continue. Okay. Bafana baka ba lapile. Yeah. 3 hours has step up and place, but I get you guys. You tried your best. Then we'll pick this up either tomorrow when I come back from church or I don't know. When I hear Moyao vibrator then. And today was just us me checking in because sometimes like I feel sorry for you guys when I'm like oh, when are we having a Zoom? And I tell you, hey, you already have Zooms that you haven't watched. Go complete all the steps, and then afterwards we will revisit this topic. I feel sorry sometimes. I'm like, you know what? Let me just, show you that my voice is still lovely. Here and there, like you can hear it live on my YouTube channel. Like you understand, we are live now. We are live alive. You see, Semolo, you are distracted by your own desires. Simple question. Shawnee says that we are yet to see a deeper push to the downside in attempt to retest the level we broke out of. Whilst we feel the recent formed weeks before we can see a rally that will test the recently formed supply zone in form of second leg for shorts in respects to the supply zone. Okay. You see, Sean can see that he's maturing in terms of the way he writes. He's becoming multilingual, He's speaking both. He's speaking both. How you speak and when it comes to trading, how you speak, it must carry substance. You can't just say, and the way like you guys are responding, I genuinely do appreciate that because it shows that things that we are discussing, they're actually finding fertile soil where to land, Unfortunately, I cannot water down certain things to that extent. Like, for example, the first Zoom that we had, that is the extent of watering down. There is nowhere to go. The only way for me is to rename those things and call them the margin. What even I say margin is still economics because there's I okay. Ketutula are upon applying the theory of proofs. You love this theory, ne? We have completed the last leg of the 3 cycles that makes up a wave. The reduction will be in form of to fill the wick, and the last leg act as a first leg. Yeah, probability. They are there. Yes, yes, yes. I hear what you, yes. There's a probability of that. Now, again, that's the tricky part about this situation, right? Once you enter into prices that are, how can I say it? An uncharted territory, an unfamiliar territory in terms of pricing. There's always the sense of it won't occur. And it always almost occurs. Nah, it won't reach that pricing. It reaches it. It won't. That's why last time when we spoke, we said that prices are theoretical until they become practical. So the question is that what leads to the practicality of that? What results behind an asset for it to reach prices that were initially viewed as theoretical? What are the processes that go behind it? Right? because no one ever thought that this thing would get to this pricing. And not only that, but the time span in which the market, like, the time frame. When I say time frame, I don't say daily, weekly. I'm talking about the span, the quickness, the swiftness, the pace in which the market has been moving in that resulted in this prices being reflected within the market, right? Because prices, they are merely, I can say, a byproduct of belief and also a byproduct of value. But belief and value have been disconnected. It's more like the thing that dominates, it's belief. Value no longer matters that much. Because if value did matter to such an extent, then the pricing of an asset should equally match that, isn't it? Now, these processes that have occurred, even though one would say that, okay, we have had this situation 2020, that one still, 2020 is to us what 2008 is to them, the older generation in this business. Do we agree with that? The housing market, the house, those things, now we have never experienced them. So for us, it's a, it's like when like older traders like speak about those events. For us, it's like, really, you know, we look in amazement, like in a sense of, we are intrigued, we are amazed because we have questions about those situations. For us, it's story. They're telling us stories. But 2020, we lived it, guys. I'm not talking about how your situations. No, I'm talking about us in this career, in this field. When people talk about 2020, we are within. Yeah, we are there. Unfortunately, we did not make as much. But, people got rich. But, my friend, me and you, let's wait for another catastrophe. We will be poverty inside then. I'm not wishing anyone bad, but as a trader, right now, speaking as a man of God, I peace be within the land, within the world. But as a trader, Mark Nyewe, so sorry for the language, but I man, if they die, let them die. God forgive me. But money is money, guys. I don't, but the love of money is the root of all evil. But yet, here we're doing it legitly. Wow. We're not doing much. We're not robbing, scamming. We're doing it legitly. So sometimes we must appreciate. Okay, and that's what has occurred previously, right? So if this is what has occurred previously, the reduction in price, we've seen it. Now, someone comes to you and say, okay, this is the 2020, the price movement, the reduction in price, right? Okay, righty. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Don't worry. Do not worry at all. The one thing that you should do is just relax. If I was you, I would have ordered Mare with Uber Eats by now so that, you do not have to worry about hunger. Because if you start worrying about such things, okay. All right. There we go. Yes, I wanted this. Now let's get back into business, right? You're still following, right? So the thing that we can do right now is actually measure the reduction in price in terms of here. So when we moved from here to here, where is it? There. So the reduction in price was 32% basically, 32% in 2 months. Do we agree with that? 32% in 2 months, right? So meaning that this itself was a matter of speed. It was more of a matter of speed. So the rapid reduction in price itself, that's what contributed towards the weight, right? And it being more of like a, you can say, catastrophe if you want to look at it, something that can be a kind of monument within the financial sector, isn't it? So now when we're looking at this reduction in price itself, it's how much? It's, one can say 37%. So basically, that's so beautiful. Did you see that? Did you see that? That this and this, they are relatively, roughly the same percentage in terms of losses. Did you see them? Did you see that? Did you see that? Guys, okay, let's conclude. Did you see that this and that, they are relatively the same in terms of percentages? That one is 32, that one is 37, but relatively they are similar. But look at how they are. Look at the amount. This one made more impact as compared to this one. So remember this, my friend. Size does not matter. Eh? It is the, the impact, Baba. Yes. If you're making impact in terms of your reduction, you get to understand that it does not matter. The size, there it is. By observation, it looks big, but here, this one, you can, no, why this thing, this thing really did do that. It looks like a joke, right? Until you have experienced it, then, so this one looks like, oh, this is, no, this is the one. So we agree. Exactly. So that is the part of it. So now the other part, we will complete it. So take a moment. We will discuss more of this tomorrow. For today, let us rest, Yana. I don't know. We'll see. Let me have Maheu maybe go down and or go to the living room, maybe play PlayStation, or maybe just sit and listen to music, Yana, for 2 seconds. And yeah, and let's see if we can have another one at 8, maybe, I'm not sure, but we'll let you know. And then 9 o'clock as well, probably. 9 o'clock, guys, please come. The same numbers that you guys have here, please bring them, guys. I would truly appreciate if the 42 of you guys can be here, or the 50 something. That will show me that indeed we're making progress, that you guys are not just using me for my mind, fella. I don't want to feel used. Lena, I want to feel like, at least pretend that you care, You don't show me, don't be too obvious that, you don't love me, but, sounds familiar, ne? Yeah. Something they told you today when you was like, ish, wenzani. Say, yeah, when this weather is like this, I know you, Sean. But otherwise, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for sticking with me. 3 hours a snip up and place, guys. It's not easy to listen to this marvelous voice for this many hours, right? But thank you for coming, guys. Let's continue doing well. The Bible says that do not get weary in doing well, because at a proper time, you will receive a proper harvest. Time and chance occurs to everyone. That's why you have to be prudent, be diligent, and trust that God will bless you. Like, so you know that the fruits of your labor, they yield profit. So I want you guys to be in that part where you understand that physical work itself, there are limitations. If you don't believe that there are limitations, Remember, is it David when they went fishing for nights and they didn't catch anything, but a mere presence of Jesus, meeting him, didn't even know he was the Messiah. Just by meeting him, he even had people to assist him. Physical labor the whole night. Don't sleep, don't. Jesus, he came, he says, just push it near, push that boat there. Don't even go too, they weren't even too far. They were just, Jesus said, push it. Don't, Corey, where the boat was, they could even stand. They didn't swim. It was by their knees. They've never catch so much fish. Never. So that goes to show you that there are limitations to what one can do physically. You'll cast your net until your elbows, your shoulders, your back hurts without catching anything. You'll do so much work, study, back test, watch Zooms, all these things, but no success. But the minute you hit the knee, pray. Baba, trust me. Yes. It's like a water pipe. When the pressure is there, but it's been bent. When it's unbent, yes. I know the speed. So do not get weary in doing well. Whether people are succeeding, do not worry. All that you need to know is that there are limitations to what one can do physically. Right now, I'm tired, you see, physically. Those are the limitations. So when we say, come, let's pray, we want to balance out. We want you to be at equilibrium. Supply meets demand. That's why the Bible says that he will give you strength according to your days. It's already supplied. But the question is that, do you demand it? Because if you demanded it, there would be a kind of a relationship to show that, woman, I need this, So these are the type of things we share with one another. When we are having these Zooms, we are sharing this type of things. We encourage one another as brothers and sisters. But because you are too intelligent to attend this, some of the things you are missing, because now it's no longer about trading only. We are building a community of brotherhood, sisterhood, fellowshipping with one another. That's the only way we can achieve longevity. We have made it this far without involving God in our things. And by his grace, we were able to sustain the team and continue to push. And especially me as the leader, as the mentor, I continued to do work. But the question is that the grace that was upon me, or the favor that was upon me, was it based on my responsibility or my discipline and my devotion to God? I think it was based more on my responsibilities. Sometimes there's a preservation of life or preservation of whatever you are doing, not because of the fact that God show its favor upon you. It's because God loves people that have been assigned to you. The love he has for them is the reason why you are still operating. Is because what he has gifted you, the impact that he's doing in their lives, it's far greater than you being demised, meaning that but again, remember, at some point, zokonda. For me, it was 2021. You remember, hey, I was seeing things there, but it was just merely a point of realignment. Or if we can do that together before you witness things that you're not supposed to, then I'll be happy. Like right now, if you're 21, 22, 23, and Proverbs 1 verse 7, it gets cemented within your heart. Trust me, I've saved you so many wasted efforts and time. Even like Proverbs verse 1 says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and counsel. If that part it's cemented within your heart, especially at a young age, trust me, the only way is up, because you're not going to indulge in things that are going to waste your time. So, you know, are we okay? I'm not depressing you, ne? I'm not making you feel somehow, but you know, I wouldn't be sharing this if I didn't care. It's not, I'm just telling you, pay attention and be careful to what, like, you must, to what God is doing right now. You must pay attention to that very closely, or else your sense of intelligence will be your own demise. All sense of knowledge, intelligence, it's foolishness in the eyes of God. But let me not depress you. Let's go and relax a bit. Let's go and relax a bit and have our minds, clear. At 9 o'clock, we'll see you. Thank you guys for coming. Continue to push them. These Zooms, you won't get them, by the way. If you do, maybe I'll post snippets here and there. But these ones, you're going to find them. Maybe you might find them at the end. Or maybe you might find them, but at the end, or Classic 11, or we will see. Guys, enjoy, guys. Go kiss your wife there. If you are a man of God and you're still young, growing, and yet to engage in these festivities, go cook. Okay, sharp guys. I will see you. Thank you.